Good day everyone, my name is Larry. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be discussing about the Russian visa interview. Please stick with me to the end of this video in order to get the information I have for you. Preparing for a Russian visa interview involves understanding the purpose of your trip, gathering the required documentation, and confidently addressing questions from the consular officers. So those are the main three things you have to consider when you want to apply for any visa in the world. So you have to be sure of the purpose of your trip, you have to gather the necessary documentation, and then you have to be prepared to answer questions from the consular officers. So let's talk about gathering the required documents for the Russian visa. The first document that you have to have at your end is passport, your international passport. It is the most required document for any visa in the world. You need your visa application form, which can be gotten in the link up there. Also, you need an invitation letter. An invitation letter is a letter from your host, whether from the employer, whether from the university, or whether from a tourist agent. Let it be known that Russian visa don't necessarily require you to prove your financial status. As long as you are older than 18 years of age, you do not need to prove your financial statement. Of course, there are some cases whereby the consular officer would want you to prove your financial statement, so be prepared for that also. The other document that you have to provide also is your accommodation details. For example, if you are applying for a tourist visa to Russia, you need to provide your hotel bookings or your host address. Russian visa don't need travel itinerary. You do not need to book a flight before applying for a Russian visa, so that is not needed. Health insurance is not needed for a Russian visa, but you are going to be obliged when you get to Russia to register for an health insurance card. Proof of enrollment, you necessarily just need your admission letter or your acceptance letter from the university. The other document I would like to mention is your educational document, your secondary school certificate, your transcript, your graduation certificate from the university. In addition to that, all these educational documents has to be legalized and authenticated by the Federal Ministry of Education and Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs in your country. The other thing that is very important is your HIV certificate. HIV certificate can be done in a government registered hospital after you've successfully done your HIV test. So those are the documents that you necessarily need in order to apply for a Russian visa. Let's move to the common interview questions that you can likely come across. So it's generally going to be divided into 4 stages: your general information, study or work visa questions, financial stability, and then your travel history. So in the general information, you will be most likely be asked what is the purpose of your trip to Russia, how long do you plan to stay in Russia, and then which city will you visit. These are basic questions that every applicant are required to know. Purpose of your trip, if you are going for a study visa, yeah, I'm going for a study visa, and then how long do you plan to stay in Russia. If your study term is going to last for 2-3 years, you have to mention that, okay, I'm going to be studying for 3 years in Russia, and then which city will you visit. I'm going to be visiting Moscow, I'm going to be visiting St. Petersburg. So these are basic questions that you have to know as an applicant. Study or work visa questions. For example, you might be asked, why did you choose this university or job in Russia? What is your course of study or field of work? Do you plan to stay in Russia after completing your studies or work? So you might come across this kind of questions too. Then financial stability. Questions that you might come across in financial stability section is, how will you fund your stay in Russia, and who is your sponsor if applicable? And then your travel history, you'll be asked if you have traveled before to Russia, or you might be asked if you have traveled abroad before and what was your purpose of traveling. I'll be giving you 5 tips for the interview. You have to dress professionally. You don't have to go to the embassy in an elaborate dressing. You have to be composed in your dressing. You have to be formal, and then be honest and confident. Also, you have to be confident and honest when you answer questions. The consular officers are well-trained people, so they could easily notice if you are not confident. So you have to be as confident as much as you are. Then you have to be polite. You have to be polite in answering your question. You have to talk clearly and politely to the consular officer. And then you have to know your documents. You don't want to mess up things when they keep asking you, can I have your this, can I have your that. You have to be like confident in giving your document, and this is my document. So you should also practice responses. For example, all those questions that you might likely come across, you can practice them with your friends and family. You can tell your sister or brother to sit like a consular and ask you those questions. So this is going to also improve your confidence level. So this is the final checklist. You verify that all documents are up to date and meet the consulate requirements. Arrive at the interview location early to avoid unnecessary stress, and then keep your documents neatly organized in a folder. for easy access during the interview. And also, don't forget to check the website of the Russian Consulate Embassy where you are applying for any specific guidelines or updates related to the interview process. I hope you've gotten a little more information about Russian visa interview. It's not really hard, at all. You just have to be composed and be honest in your answer to the consular officer. So thank you very much for staying with me to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like this video and share it with your friends and family. Thank you.